日本時間4月9日、ドジャースの大谷翔平選手は、敵地トロントでのブルージェイズ戦に、1番投手兼 DH で今季2度目の先発出場をしました。この日は、同僚のミゲル・ロハス選手の父親を偲ぶため、MR の文字が刻まれたキャップをかぶり、試合に臨んだドジャース。この日の大谷選手は、投手として、6回96球を投げ、4安打1失点、自責0、2奪三振、最速 100.1 マイル、約 161.1 キロの快投を見せ、2勝目の権利を掴んで降板。2点リードでマウンドを譲ったドライヤー投手が追いつかれ2勝目を逃すも、2登板連続自責点ゼロで12イニングを投げ、防御率は 0.00 という好投を見せました。また、打者としては、四球、空振り三振、デッドボール、ショートゴロ、見逃し三振と3打数ノーヒットだったものの、1回の第1打席で四球を選び、イチロー氏の持つ日本選手最長記録に並ぶ43試合連続出塁を記録。試合は3対4でドジャースが敗れ、連勝は5でストップしました。試合後、ドジャース側の地元放送局は大谷選手の粘りの投球を称賛。ここからはその様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Fun to watch. A pretty good table setter to have for the Dodgers atop that lineup. But Shohei was the Dodgers starting pitcher in Game 7 of the World Series. Today, he returns to the mound at Rogers Center as the Dodgers try to finish off a 3-game sweep in this World Series rematch. Let's go back to Toronto right now. Kirsten joins us again live with more on Shohei. Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Yeah, look, you mentioned it. The last time we saw Shohei Ohtani on this mound here in Rogers Center, it was Game 7 of the World Series. Of course, winner take all. Unfortunately, well, let me not say unfortunately, he was on short rest. The results were not necessarily there. Was only able to get through 2 1/3 inning, gave up 3 runs, so did put the team in a hole early. But ultimately, we know what happened by the end of that game. Dave Roberts, though, he talked about Shohei Ohtani, the competitor that he is, and if he's the type of guy who does want to right his wrongs from that Game 7.
I think so. He might not admit that, but, you're always looking for something to kind of fuel that fire. And he was certainly on very short rest in Game 7. I don't think he would change the result, but, his last outing here wasn't memorable as far as just the pitching for performance. So I do think there's something in him to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to kind of pitch well here, and whatever that means or whatever that looks like, we'll see.
What's the dynamic like in a Ohtani start, especially early in the season? What you're looking for, how he's feeling. You've managed some pitchers that have been a little bit more forceful and when they want to stay in a game. Is there any similarities, and what's the dynamic in a start?
I think as a pitcher, when he's pitching, I don't see him. There's a lot of things that he's does to prepare, obviously the hitting and the pitching. He takes a different tone and demeanor, which we've talked about. As far as managing in the game, he's like all pitchers, that the great ones that I've had, they just want to be in the game. But I'm very mindful of the short term, the long term, and he's got to be very convicted for me to, for him to convince me to stay in the game if I don't feel it's the right decision, right? So I think we've been in lockstep, all those times that he's pitched for me.
When it comes to Shohei Ohtani, last year we truly learned that there is a difference. There's Shohei, the DH. You might see him more smiley, a little bit more playful, of course, very serious when he's in the box. And then there's Shohei, the pitcher. Every one of his teammates have said he's truly more of a pitcher than he is a DH, and he is absolutely dialed in, the ultimate competitor when he is on the mound. That being said, he's also very understanding when it comes to how they're looking to maintain him early in the season. Last year, as he was building up, they were very intentional, only going 1 inning at a time. This year, Dave Roberts has made it very clear that they are going to keep him on that 6 to 7 day rest, especially early in the season, to make sure that he's in a good position come October. So come today, as much as he might want to right some of those wrongs from that Game 7 of last year, he is ultimately in an excellent position to start the season. Only 2 spring training outings because he was away from the team with the World Baseball Classic, but considering where he was in his last one, he's fully built up, and so he's in a good spot heading into today, guys. He's been in Dodger Blue for 2 years now, and we have not been short of many times in which we have been able to witness his greatness in person. We can think back to 40-40 at Dodger Stadium, and it happened to be his 40th home run of the season in a walk-off grand slam fashion. Then we got 50-50, one of the greatest games we've ever seen 2 years ago in Miami. Then you look at last year, it's the NLCS, Game 4, 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. It feels like whenever he takes the mound, we are truly witnessing greatness and history happening. Dave Roberts today, he was asked about Shohei Ohtani, the two-way player that he is. If these were the expectations he had from him for a young player coming over from Japan into Major League Baseball, and how he has truly exceeded every single expectation in what he's been able to do.
Nothing for me is different than what he's done on the field. Certainly, he's pitching well, he's healthy, he's performed offensively. I think the thing that has really been the needle mover is what he's done to the game. I think the eyeballs. I think that him coming to the Dodgers, what that's done for us, the game, that's went up a couple levels, if you could even imagine that, which is hard to imagine. But I think that everyone already felt he was the best player, maybe the best player, probably the best player of all time in totality. So he's done nothing to disprove that. But I think that just how he's carried the game as far as his persona with humility, that's something that I really, really appreciate.
First came over from Japan, and you guys were recruiting him back then. Did you think something like this kind of level he would get to, of like full-way or two-way play was possible back then?
No, I didn't. I thought he was... No, and I think that that's fair because I didn't see him play much, you know. He was a young kid who had potential, but I don't think anyone saw what he's doing two-way. I mean, there might be some people, but this is a pipe dream, really.
When you talk to guys just about Shohei Ohtani and what he's able to do, first I should say not only are these guys in awe with some of the things he does, whether on the mound, at the plate, but it truly is a testament. Yes, there is of course natural talent in what Shohei can do, but how hard he works and shows up every single day. He is someone who's adamant in the weight room, taking care of his body, whether it's just kind of going out to bullpens, getting a feel for his pitches, the work he's doing in the cage. Even if you look at his last outing, he talked to the media just how he felt on the mound, of course, getting through 6 innings of work, only giving up 1 hit. He felt like he was in a good spot as a pitcher, but he was working through a few things mechanically when it came to being in the box. Of course, we saw him take BP at Dodger Stadium before this team went on the road, and since then, it truly has been a difference in who he is at the plate. Of course, we're seeing the long ball, the extra base hits. So he comes into this one, honestly, in a very good spot. And so Dave Roberts said, of course, they will push him when they believe it's time, but also going to find ways to manage him because ultimately they are for sure thinking the long game when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, guys. Let's start with the pitching, though. You've got Shohei Ohtani on the mound. What have you just learned about him as a pitcher?
Yeah, just the consistency with Shohei is incredible on both sides of the ball, and it's like it's shown this year, obviously so far, and we expect it to continue that way. But he's just been so good at reading, reacting, and doing his work, and continuing to try to improve in everything that he does. So it's fun to watch from the dugout.
How does he just kind of set the tone for this group?
Man, obviously in a lot of ways, just the threat and the presence, both on the mound and at the plate, it just sets the tones for other team. And then obviously we have a ton of good players on this team that follow him up, so it's a really tough lineup.
On the other side, we know what Ohtani can do with the bat. He's already homered in this series, but on the mound, he started out his season with 6 shutout innings against Cleveland, so he's off to a good start, and he might have a little extra motivation here this afternoon. The last time he pitched here, Game 7 of the World Series, he came back on short rest, didn't go real well, despite his team coming out on top.
Feeling a little bit of frustration, James, after letting this one get away in the late innings of this game today.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the game, they had 1 error, right? We saw a few errors in this game, but, overall, great job by Ohtani pitching. He had 10 ground outs, no flyouts. I just thought that, he got a couple jams, got out of it, so great to see him out there.
That was great. He did a great job. Ohtani did a great job on the mound. And, yeah, I mean, this one, you go into the game up 5-0 on the road trip, feeling really good about it. No matter what, you're going to have a good road trip. You're going to have a good flight home. But this one just hurts a little more because it was errors, it was mistakes, it was little things that they could have prevented. It wasn't just that they got beat by the Blue Jays. They really allowed those runs. They gave up a couple of unearned runs there. So it just got away from them. They lost the way you don't want to lose more than anything.
One of the things that separates the good pitchers from the great pitchers, as you guys know, is when you don't have your best stuff, you're able to go out there and put up zeros, James. And Shohei Ohtani clearly was fighting his commands all day long, but he gets through 6 innings. Yeah, you only had a couple of strikeouts, but he did not allow an earned run through these 6 innings.
No, I mean, we got to give this guy a little grace too, right? He is the leadoff hitter. He is on base a lot, right? He's drawing walks. He's doing all these kind of things. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't look like it looks like maybe his energy is a bit down. I don't know if it is, but he is a battler. He is a gamer. He wants the ball. I mean, guys get on base sometimes right there. You see another ground ball out. He was keeping the ball down so good today. I mean, see right there, another pitch, weak contact, right? And that's what you want. I mean, I don't know what he's going to say after the game as far as how he felt. I know it wasn't a lot of strikeouts, but he didn't need that. And like we talk about having longevity, right? About him going, longer in games. I'll take those groundouts all day.
Yeah, 100%. You go 6 innings complete, 96 pitches, and get through the lineup of the Blue Jays that put the ball in play. You've had a great outing. I mean, that Blue Jays lineup, they can hit it out of the ballpark. They put the ball in play. They battle. And that's why he only had the 2 strikeouts. But he only had 1 walk, so he was attacking the strike zone. And, like I said, they fight at bats. They foul pitches off. They do those kind of things. And what he was able to do, go 6 innings, 96 pitches, that is incredible. He had a great day on the mound. And, I would be, patting him in the back, saying, great job. You did everything you needed to do on the mound. Great job.
Yeah, 10 ground ball outs, 6 infield pop-ups, and 2 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani. Nothing really to the outfield this entire game, right?
You look at just how you were navigating through their lineup. The pitch count got up early. Did it feel like today was a bit of a grind for you personally?
球数も上がってきて、今回の登板はちょっと努力が必要な登板になったんですかねと。
そうですね。出来は良くなかったですけど、責任イニングと球数はしっかり投げれたので、そこは唯一良かったのかなと思います。
Yeah, didn't really feel great going into the game. Made some adjustments and finished strong at the end.
We don't often see you with just kind of ice. Obviously, you are in your recovery post-game, but how are you feeling after this outing today?
登板直後、アイシングやってますけども、状態はどうでしょうかと。
いや、状態は悪くはないかなとは。投げ心地がやっぱ良くなかったので。遠征の最後にはね、多少疲れはありますけど、その中でも、それなりに投げてたのが良かったなと思います。
It didn't feel that great. It's the end of the long road trip, so in that sense, I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm recovering and feeling better.
Why was it important for you to put Miguel's father's initials on your hat today?
右のお父さんの帽子につけた理由としては。
本人もね、もちろん辛いとは思いますけど、それでもこうやってグラウンドに来て、プレーして素晴らしいプレーもありましたし、みんなでチームとしてね、支えていければいいんじゃないかなと思います。
I'm sure it's been a tough day for Miggy, and he's showed up today, made some really good plays, and we just want to make sure that he's just well supported.
Shohei, offensively, where are you at? Do you feel like you're getting closer to more consistency? Do you feel like you're starting to find something?
バッティングの調子は取り戻している感じですか？
前進はしてるかなとは思いますけど、毎年シーズンの最初はこんなもんなのかなっていう、いつも通りなのかなっていう印象かなと思います。
It's going in the right direction. Just overall, like in my career, I think April's been okay. So I think it's where it's supposed to be.
You weren't feeling great. Is that more like fatigue, or was there something off with your delivery that you were looking to sort of correct and address there?
フォーム的なことなのか、何か体調的なことなのか、今日のそのしっくりこない理由としては。
どちらもではないですかね。遠征の最後で、デーゲーム寄りのゲームだったので、そういう意味では疲れは少し、みんなあるとは思いますし、そのせいなのかは分からないですけど、投げ心地が良くなかったので、そこは次の登板までにしっかりと見直したいなと思ってます。
Hard to say, but I think it's a little bit of both. I think for players, we usually feel the fatigue at the end of the road trip. I'm not sure if that was the main cause, but I want to make sure that I'm addressing, if any, some mechanical changes.
These first couple of weeks, seems like you've been getting walked a lot. Do you feel like you're being pitched around more than you have in the past? And if so, how, I guess, much better have you gotten exercising patience?
フォアボールが結構多くて、相手のピッチャーの攻め方っていうのがちょっと変わってきてるっていうところで、そういうのにも対応できているって感じですか。
そうですね。フォアボールは好きなので、はい。くれる分にはもらいますし、ストライクに来れば振るし、シンプルにもう何も考えずに作業だと思って打席に立っていればいいのかなと思ってます。
I try to really stay with a simple approach, and if they're not throwing me strikes, I'm happy to take a walk. And if they are throwing strikes, my job is to swing at them.
You know, the question was it a grind out there? He went 6 innings, didn't give up an earned run. If that is a grind, I'll take a grind every single outing from him. And if he wasn't feeling great going into it, he had a great outing. He went 96 pitches, 60 strikeouts, or 60 strikes. Mm-hmm. He didn't get a ton of strikeouts, but he also only walked 1 hitter. So even if he wasn't feeling great, even if his misses were not where he might miss by a little bit, maybe he was missing by a little bit more, and so that felt like a grind. But he had an incredible outing against a great lineup. For me, this was a great outing. He still hasn't given up an earned run all season. So 2 outings, 6 innings each outing, not an earned run. To me, this is an outing that I'm like, I want that every single time out of you. Yep. So for me, grind, no grind, whatever it was, keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, he's my Cy Young pick for this year. I think I said it another show, but he's my guy.
Yeah, I think he was great. The 1 run that scored was an error. If that run doesn't score, maybe he's able to go longer in the game because that accumulated to the pitch count as well. So, again, to me, I think this is a great outing. I will take that out of him every single time.
You go 6 innings, you get 10 ground ball outs, 6 infield pop-ups, couple strikes. There were no fly ball outs in this game. To me, that sounds like a great day for any starting pitcher.
Yeah, and that's why for me, when the question was it a grind? I was like, okay, I need a little more context to a grind because
Shohei's standards.
Shohei's standards.
Maybe I'll take that.
First, just with Shohei Ohtani, he talked about how, today did feel like a grind for him. What were you seeing just from how he started this one and how he was able to navigate through the line, push through, and really kind of end on a higher note when it came to his outing?
It was a grind. You can see it. He just didn't feel synced up with his delivery. You can see by the misses. He was fighting himself, the entire outing. But obviously, the compete comes into play, the stuff comes into play, and he found a way to get through 6 innings, giving up 1 run, and pretty impressive, to be quite honest, with given how he felt. And you're not going to feel great every day, but to his credit, he found a way to give us length and exit with a lead.
Can you walk us through what happened in the first inning, where there was a little bit of miscommunication or conversation about the amount of time that Shohei is getting in between innings? I know we saw something like this during the World Series here, but it seemed like Springer was asking the umpire, like, how much time is he getting? He seemed a little bit frustrated. What was the dynamic there?
You know what? I think just talking about the World Series, obviously they were a little frustrated about, how long Shohei takes, in between innings, but if he's on the bases, there's got to be some grace, which I think the umpires are trying to give him. But yeah, I mean, if you're on the other side, you're trying to rush him as much as possible and treat him like any other pitcher. But the truth is that he's different, and so. But I understand their gripe.
Shohei said he had some fatigue because of the end of the road trip, and it was kind of day game-ish. Is that but you guys gave enough day off. But is that something the team is going to consider next outing or following?
Yeah. I think that we've always done a good job of giving him ample time to get ready. So, yeah, he'll get a week off for his next outing.
Shohei Ohtani today, he was saying that he did feel like he was grinding just kind of on the mound. What were you seeing from him, especially just kind of how the stuff was playing and how he had to kind of work through those at-bats?
Yeah, I thought he pitched well. I think it was more just grinding through his command. He was kind of all over the place early. He kind of settled in later in those later innings. Yeah, stuff looked good. Just kind of the command today, which happens. I thought he did a good job competing, and limited him to one run.
Did it feel like just as you were kind of even with him, the bullpen, that in general this game kind of just felt like a grind when it came to the pitching staff?
Yeah, I mean they're a good team. We kind of put it to them the last few days, but they're a good team. They put together good at bats. Their pitchers were throwing the ball well today, kept them in it, and yeah.
The ABS challenge early, did you think Shohei was going for it on the mound, or was that one?
Yeah, one. It was a high target, then he pulled the heater down. I thought it was there. Yeah.
Not seem to have his usual command today.
What's that?
Dryer when he came in.
Yeah. They hit a couple sliders. Just couldn't get it down. Was leaving it up. Yeah, I expect bounce back out for the next time.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。